I've worked with hundreds of women entrepreneurs to help them market their businesses. Behind their businesses, they all have stories to tell. Whether it's battling mommy guilt, starting a business after being fired from a six-figure job, or realizing they needed to pivot and forge an uncharted path, they've all experienced something on their journey to success. I'm one of these women too, and I'm here to share our stories on Bright Girls in Business. What's up, what's up, what's up? It's another Wednesday, and we are back with the Bright Girls in Business show. I am Chanel Yarber, the Bright Girl and the host and the curator of the show. And today, I have the distinct pleasure of talking with a good friend of mine that we met, about 4 years ago.
Longer than that, maybe like 6.
6?
Yeah, it's been that long.
Was it? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I forget, I skip over the 2 years. You're right. Mm-hmm. So we met about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Years ago.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that because in my mind, I have a way that I remember that we met, but I don't know that that's how we really met. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as we get into this. Mm-hmm. But my guest today is Miss Mia Francis Poulin, and words are her jam, okay? She is a conversion copywriter, native New Orleanian, and parks and rec enthusiast.
Yes.
Mia, along with her team of dedicated copywriters and content strategists, help online business owners to find the right words to market their products confidently and without the sleaze. She's the CEO and copywriter-in-chief of The Copy House, the one-stop flat-rate copywriting subscription for businesses that want to market their message authentically, ethically, and profitably. Yeah, you do that. Her mission in life is to be an active member of her community by continuing to fight the injustices against people of color and raising awareness about homelessness to help end the vicious cycle. Her motto is, in order to be a true leader, you must be an example, not by words, but by actions. And Mia lives by that. We're going to talk today about her journey, her life's work, and her being a mompreneur, and she is absolutely fabulous at it. I watch her, and I feel like she's like Superwoman and has at least 8 hands, because I don't know how she does it all. So welcome, Mia.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to come and be in community with you, and so I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, I'm just like, when I walked in and I saw you, I was just like, oh, I get all the feels. I'm just like so excited and so happy to see you. I remember, okay, so going back to us meeting, you were working at the time at like an insurance company or something. Ooh, yeah. And how did we meet? I always think I meet everybody on LinkedIn, and I don't know if that was it.
No, we actually met through my mom, the most bizarre thing ever. Yes, and I don't even know. Well, and it's so funny because I don't think my mom even remembers that she introduced us, but I was working in marketing for an insurance company, and my mom was like, hey, Chanel does marketing too. You should know her, because I have like 5 friends in the entire planet.
That's fine.
So she was like, you should know her. You should be in community with her. And so I was like, okay. And then I reached out, and next I know we're having lunch, and after that, just all these years later.
We went to like La Madeline and had lunch and kikied and talked about crazy corporate life and all that other good stuff. And then I looked up and you had launched out and was like, peace out, I'm starting my own thing. So
yeah, it felt like next thing I knew to me as well.
Yeah, it was like real quick. I'm like, oh, come on, Mia. Like, I was excited because I remember us talking and how you were like, I don't know if this is.
Yeah, I'm kind of, how do you say? Everything I think shows on my face. So it's very difficult. Listen, it's very it's very difficult for me to be in these corporate situations sometimes, because I'll be at a table and all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm getting pulled in a room like, Mia, you really gotta temper your face. Like, you look so angry all the time. I'm like, oh, I look angry, huh? Okay. No, it's really, I just think your idea is stupid, but it's fine. So that was me. So
that's funny. That's funny. So, all right. I want to cut straight to the chase.
Yeah.
Because there's this whole idea that I hear a lot circulating around women entrepreneurs, just women, you know, in general, professional women, about women and can they have it all? And so I want to ask you, do you think, can women have it all?
I think that women can have it all, but maybe not all at the same time, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that, so for me, having it all means that I'm able to be a very present mom. I'm able to make all the money that I want to make, right? And that I'm able to design my day how I want to design it. That's having it all for me. And, you know, have times for lots of good times with my husband.
Come on, good times.
But being real, if we want to be real, let's be real. And so for me, my non-negotiable is being a present mom for my kiddos. I have 3 of them now. I had a baby 3 months ago, which is like crazy. And anytime my kids need me, if they need a hug or they want to show me their new Hot Wheel or the little one, she just wants to be held, I want to be able to do those things. And so a lot of times I'll go to client meetings and I have a baby strapped on my chest, or I'll have a client meeting and my 4-year-old will come in and, you know, want a hug. And that's me having it all in that sense. And that's a non-negotiable for me. I wasn't going to be able to get that in my corporate world.
Oh, no.
I had to leave. And even with COVID and people like working, you know, to me, the panopticism of people using like mouse jigglers because they're tracking your mouse clicks, like that's just way too much
ridiculous.
for me. Way too much for me. And so where it seems like I can have it all, but maybe not all at the same time, is that I may be a present mom. I may be able to make all the money that I want to make, but that means I have to make some sacrifices on how my day is designed. And I have a negotiation that I do with myself on, okay, what concessions am I willing to make at this time? And I'm working towards my version of having it all. I see it. But yeah, I think we could have it all, just maybe not all at the same time in the same moment.
So I like the fact that you said you can see it, because I'm the type of person that believes if you can see it, it's real.
Yeah.
If you can visualize something in your life, that means that it is real. It just has not manifested in 3D. Mm-hmm. We're not capable of imagining up things that are fake. That's why you see movies and it's like sci-fi, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, like this was in a movie, and you see it in real. Somebody imagined this up and it manifested itself in 3D. So if you can see yourself having it all, I'm speaking into your life that yes, you can have it all.
I receive it.
And I watch you. I mean, I'm saying this to you, but it's funny because I hear other people tell me like, I watch you all the time. And I'm like, do you? Like, do you? Don't watch me. Watch something else. But I do. I pay attention to you. I pay attention to your journey. And I'm like, this girl is a badass. Like, I would be balled up in a corner somewhere in a dark closet with like a weighted blanket over my face because I don't know how, like, and I'm not a mom, so I don't know. That's way beyond me already as it is. I think it's something that maybe that instinct happens when you have kids. How does that work? How?
Well, so first of all, I do have those days, some days where I'm literally with my weighted blanket in my closet because my closet is my chill out spot. But I don't stay there, right? I allow myself to feel whatever I'm feeling in that moment, and I put a time limit on it. That's my trick. So that's something my therapist told me a long time ago is like, don't resist the feelings that you're having, feel them, but don't stay there. And so that's a whole nother topic. So for me, my kids, like being a mom and having a business, my kids were the reason why I started my business. And I think a lot of people say that, but literally for me, my kids were the reason I started my business. I left my corporate job, literally just walked into my boss's office and was like, look, you got 2 options. Either I go or you allow me to work from home indefinitely. And this was pre-COVID. And so he was like, ooh, that's a conversation. And I was like, no, there's no conversation. Goodbye. And so I packed up all my stuff and I left. And the reason why I did that was because the week prior, my middle child, who was like 6 months, his femur was broken at daycare.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And prior to that, there was a whole series of events where, my eldest, he's medically fragile, and he was rushed to the ER. He had a cardiac event. He was rushed to Children's Hospital, and I rushed there, and I'm standing in the ambulance bay, waiting for the ambulance. I beat the ambulance. That's how fast I was driving. I'm meeting the ambulance, and I'm texting my boss. I'm like, hey, I can't make that meeting. Something's going on with Ro, da-da-da. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. But where's that report you were going to get me? And I was just like,
Yeah.
I'll log in after I'm done here, And once that company that I was at, there was a change up, and they wanted me to sign some documents. I was essentially giving them free reign over all intellectual property that would come from my brain, whether it was for their company or not, or at least that's how I interpreted it, and my lawyer friends interpreted it. I'd already made the decision I was going to go, but my kid breaking his femur or having his femur broken was the catalyst. So when I say I literally started my business for my kids, I started my business for my kids, and I've been building the plane on the way down. And so for me, it wasn't ever really an option in my brain to not have those 4 things that I wanted out of life, and for me having my business is the best way I can protect my kids and care for my kids and ensure that they have all the things that they need. And one of the things that they need is they need a mom who is able to be there and be present.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think a lot of times I watch women have to, or they think they have to choose. I'm going to say that. They think they have to put their kid aside, or, I have to keep this image, or I have to keep this job, or I have to keep whatever they think that they have to do. And they end up sacrificing the family, the kid, the marriage, the whatever, just to hold on to the career. Yeah. And it almost, because I've walked away from jobs too. My last job before the one that I have now, I kind of did what you did. I walked in and was like, all right, bye. Yeah. It was a Friday morning, and I was like, let me take this email and leave this stuff on this desk. This ain't what y'all want. This is not going anywhere fast. So I get that. But I see a lot of women that feel like they're trapped, and they don't feel like they have agency over themselves. What do you tell women? I'm sure other women besides me come to you and like, Mia, how are you doing this? Or what are you doing? I'm sure. But what would you tell a woman that, came to you like that?
I mean, so for me, I have a belief that I'm 100% in control of my life and the decisions that I make. And if I make a decision to do something, or I make a decision not to do something, or, not making a decision is a decision, right? Then that's on me. Because like you said earlier, anything that is imaginable in this world is possible. And I believe that too, 100%. And so instead of placing the responsibility or placing the circumstances of my life on external forces or other people, I just claim the ownership that I get to create the life that I want. I get to have the things that I want. Just because other people have them, that doesn't mean that I can't have them either. Yeah. Yeah. I'm very much of that same thought. My mom and I were talking about this maybe a couple weeks ago, and she was comparing me to somebody or something we were talking about. And I was like, if they got it, why can't I? Right. God is no respecter of person. I see that they have it. That doesn't mean who are they? Who are they that they can have access to something that I can't? That's just the way that I think. And then from there, like you said, I build the parachute, figure it out. And yes, I may bump my head along the way. Yeah. But you have to give yourself those chances. And I've watched you do that over the years, fully live full out and give yourself chances to thrive. And it looks to me like you're doing it, even if you don't feel like you're doing it every day. So it's so funny that you say this too, because I so often am just kind of like, all right, I could be like, let's put the pedal to the metal, let's go. And I think that's the Scorpio in me, maybe. I'm very much 100% in full embodiment of whatever I'm doing. But yeah, it's just really funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah, no, you are a full-on person. You ain't a half-ass person. That's why you here. I don't have half-ass people on my podcast.
Oh my God, I love that.
So, okay, so you left corporate, you have the business, you have now 3 children. I can't wait to see this little baby girl. I'll
show you pictures.
I'm excited. I'm like, oh, gushy on the inside. So you have 3 kids, you have the husband. Like you got 3 balls that you're juggling. How do you balance it all?
So it goes back to that point of me designing the day how I want. And so there's a couple of things. One, I want to preface this by saying that I recognize that I come from a place of privilege when I say these things, because I do have a husband who is 1,000% supportive of me. Like, in fact, the day before I left my job, I made the decision, okay, I'm leaving my job tomorrow. And I told my husband, I was like, hey, I just, this doesn't feel right. And he was just like, just go, just leave. Like, you are amazing. You'll figure it out. So anyway,
husband.
Right. Come on, Steve. So his name is Steve. So, I recognize the point of privilege that I do have a spouse, that I do have access to those resources and to other supports, right? But for me, to go back to your question, it's about designing my day how I want it. And so what that looks like is my calendar is literally blocked off. Family time, work time, and even within my work time, team time where I'm answering questions from my team, or I'm working on lead gen, or I'm working on vision casting. And I compartmentalize a lot of things, and I leave a lot of time for my family. So I only have 2 days out of the week, and really it's only one. Like Tuesdays are my work days, and like half a Monday. So only 2.5 days that I'm actually working. But it took me, we had our 4-year anniversary on the 1st of October, and it's taken me all 4 years to get to the point where I'm able to do that. And so now it's like I'm working because that's how I want my day to look. So
I like that. I'm going to tell you, the word that stuck out to me in that answer was compartmentalize. Mm-hmm. I don't think a lot of people understand what that looks like. And it took me a long time to get there too. Just as an entrepreneur, I was so gung-ho. And like I said, I don't have family. I don't have a spouse. So my business was my everything.
Yeah.
And it bled over into so many other areas of my life, and I didn't realize it. Like, I had taken on the identity of my business. I had become the business.
yeah.
And then when the business would be up, down, or sideways, it would affect me emotionally.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't learned how to compartmentalize and walk away. Like with the job, oh, okay, yeah, that's y'all thing. Like,
Yeah.
y'all go ahead with that. I'm going home. But I couldn't figure out how to do that. So I love the fact that you said you have your calendar block. It's like, this time is this. Mm-hmm. I shut it down. Now it's focused on this. I shut that down and I fold that up and put that in the corner until it's time for it again. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's so important, just in life in general.
Yeah, and I will say though, and I'm working on this because I care a lot about my business. And when I got team, right, everybody talks about, oh, go out and hire. What they don't tell you, or at least for me, because I'm a very empathetic person, I feel a lot of responsibility to my team members.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
do.
These are the people who are putting their faith in me and
Yes.
this thing that I literally just created out of my brain.
Head. Yes.
You know, like I just came up with this out of my brain, and they're like, yep, I feel it. I'm with you. And their livelihood, like, it is a little bit on me, like, right? Everybody gets to make decisions. Everybody got to support themselves. But listen, they are expecting that paycheck to come from the copy house. Like that's what they're expecting. And so, you know, it is a lot of pressure to make sure that everything is on the up and up, and just to make sure that, okay, are we hitting our growth goals, right? Mm-hmm. That's pressure. And I try to not think about my business all the time, but I think about my business all the time.
Hard.
And I am working on shutting off my brain so that way when I'm watching, you know, Minions with my 4-year-old and he wants to sing the intro song, I'm singing the intro song with him and not thinking about, I need to finish up that email or I probably should reach out to so-and-so again that we talked to 3 months ago, you know, so that's that. I'm working on it. Just let you know, I ain't a perfect person.
Well, I don't think none of us this side of heaven are anyway. So I don't think that's the expectation, but I see a lot of women, and this is really why I wanted to bring you on. I see a lot of women. I've worked with women over the years. I mean, I've been in business 10 years, and most of my clients have been women and women of color. And I don't think we give ourselves permission enough.
Yeah.
We don't give ourselves permission to succeed. We don't give ourselves permission to put up boundaries and say no. We don't give ourselves permission to have it all, like we just talked about. We don't give ourselves enough permission to just be and succeed. It's always a reason. And when I've come in contact with mompreneurs, other mompreneurs, the kids are always the low-hanging fruit to put them up as the reason why. Oh, I can't do this because of them. I can't do that because of them. And I like when you said, what did you say? My kids are not my reason why I don't. They're my reason why I do.
Yeah.
And so I felt like after hearing that so long, I couldn't be the person to say, ma'am, stop the bull. Like, get off the bull, because I don't have kids. So the first thing they come back to me and say is, you don't have children. You don't know what it's like. You don't have, and then it's defense.
Yeah.
But to see someone and reflect back, like, yeah, I struggle. I do this, and this is how I make it through. I think is so important to demonstrate. So,
there's so many pieces to this, right? And the first thing that I had to realize, and I realized this back in corporate as I was trying to climb that corporate ladder, because for the longest time it was Mia's going to be the CMO of some Fortune 500 company. She's going to be, making $400,000 plus a year. She's going to be, like that was the whole vision throughout college and beyond. And when I tried to climb up, I was met with such resistance, even though I know, and this is said without like being pompous, I know that I'm smart and I know that I'm brilliant. Like I know that I'm damn good at what I do, right? And when I would see the guy who didn't look like me, we'll call him Steve.
Okay.
Even though that's my husband's name.
No, that's short, yeah.
I had a guy in my corporate world. I called him Steve the Stealer because he always stole all my ideas. Like yes, I mentioned something at the water cooler. Next thing I know, Steve is presenting it, at the team meeting. But anyway, when I realized that part of the reason that I was meeting such resistance was because the powers that be did not want me to have the confidence to achieve those positions. And they wanted me to say to myself, who do I think I am to be in those roles? I realized that that's for like the whole of my existence, not just within this corporate space. And so when I would have that internalization of who do I think I am, I would say, well, I'm Mia Francis Poulin. I'm badass writer. I'm gifted. I'm a child of God. That's who I am. So I had that realization. And then I realized that security is an illusion.
Oh my God. Yes, it is.
A lot of people like to say, and I think especially this COVID time has shown us how fragile these so-called secure companies are, that secure paycheck. It's so easy for all of us to be one day away from losing that paycheck, no matter how good it is, right? And so when I sat down and I realized that, I said, well, do I want to be making pennies on the CEO's dollar when I'm just as brilliant? Like, I'm literally sitting here crafting whole campaigns that are bringing in millions, hundreds of millions of dollars for these big companies. Why would I not do that for myself?
Yes, ma'am.
And create the world that I want for my children and for my legacy, not just my children, for their children and the children beyond them. I can change the way that I had to get to where I am, which was lots of debt. Come on, somebody.
Come on, Joe Biden.
Come on, Joe.
What you doing, sir?
Yes, thank you for that 10, 20K, but come on.
I don't even get the 10, 20K. So
listen, I feel you. But I had to do a lot of things that I don't want for my children or my legacy to have to do. And the other thing is that there's so much information and maneuvering that the other percentages know that there's nothing preventing me from getting that information.
Right. Yeah.
So when it comes to my kids, like you said, my kids are my reason why, not my reason why not. And while it's sacrifice, not even sacrifice, I would say compromise. It's compromises that have to be made on so many different fronts, right? At the end of the day, because I can visualize that future for us, and I know I, along with the grace of God, can make that happen. It may be uncomfortable, there may be compromises, but at the end of the day, the non-negotiables and the non-negotiables, and we're gonna get to that point.
Yeah.
Together. So,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So you talked about the baby and his leg and all that good stuff, and then the other baby and his heart, and like I remember watching you through that whole situation. I'm like, oh Lord, please help my friend. Please help my friend. Girl, and then COVID. That was a whole thing to navigate.
How terrified I was during COVID, those early days. Like,
we all were, but I know for you for sure. Like you were literally managing lives that. Yeah. So I kind of already brought out some of the challenges that you faced as a mom running a business. But what would you say are some of those things, and how do you get the gumption to overcome?
Yeah. So, and I say these things because I got my children's permission to share these things, which people always ask. But so my eldest son, he was born at 27 weeks, and so he has a form of lung disease that impacts a lot of his organ function, and he's also autistic. And my middle son was just recently diagnosed on the spectrum as well, and so I have 2 special needs kids and a baby, and I have to say, I get a lot of my inspiration from watching my older son, because even though he doesn't use mouth words to communicate, he communicates in so many other ways. And he is probably one of the most peaceful people on this planet that I've had the pleasure of meeting. And here's what I mean. When my eldest son comes home from school, which we're in school now, because thank the Lord, Joe said they won't no more COVID, okay? Oh, so he's in school. But he'll come home, and his first thing that he does is he just goes outside. We have a big backyard at our house. He'll go outside and he just sits in the sun. And for the longest time, I was like, boy, you're going to get a sunburn, or you're going to get bit by a mosquito. But he's always done this. And he gets so incredibly still just sitting in the sun. And I really sat back and I watched him, and I watched what he was doing. And he was just so in his body and in stillness and in the moment, where he's not thinking about all of the other external things, like even in the immediate future, right? And I like every day try to be like him for like a few minutes at least, where I'm just still in the moment, just in pure sensory, right? And that's what those moments are like. Honestly, that's my medicine. Like that's a shot of some Prozac right there. Just like being in the moment for a minute there. So anyway, that's how I get through. That's how I
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think so many times, especially in America, we move so fast.
Yes.
Everything is about money, 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 money. Get this done, move here, go there, cut this person off in track. It's all just chaotic and foolish. And I think that if anybody lives in America and they don't suffer from anxiety, they're an alien. Because how? Like,
right.
Or they live like way in a rural place, like where it's one road in and one road out, and they don't even realize that the world is spinning so fast around them.
Right.
So to hear you say that, like grounding yourself and really just getting quiet, because meditation has been my peace. Like it has been I'm like, I wake up, or not wake up, but get up from meditation just feeling so refreshed. And like you said, just in yourself, like reconnected to yourself. Because we have all these things going on that's pulling us in so many different directions. And so I love the fact that you just said that. And then the fact that a kid is so intuitive to model something like that for an adult. I think that's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, but you're 100% right. Like if it's the rat race of And you mentioned it earlier about the reason why a lot of women, they don't move on their dreams is because they're trying to catch on to that status. They're trying to retain that status. But at the end of the day, who are we in competition with? Like, the whole thing is made up.
It's all an illusion.
Yes.
It's fake.
Yeah. So, like, let's calm down and
Yeah.
live your life however that looks like for you, right? Not for this external, I don't know. It's all made up.
So that's the perfect transition, because before we got on air, you revealed something to me that made me super excited, but it almost made me sad, but I'm super excited still.
Yeah.
So what prompted you or gave you the thought to move to Portugal?
I know. First of all, I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you.
I've-
Now, like,
Yes, every day. Like, that's my wind down thing, is I go look at land in Portugal, because we're going to buy a farm in the middle of nowhere and just be in the beauty of lush,
man.
verdant green land. But what prompted me to move to Portugal? Well, we can turn on the news.
hello.
That's one thing. God bless America and all that stuff. But it's a very interesting place that we live.
Very.
And two, we live in a very, very large planet, and I realized I hadn't seen hardly any of it.
Same.
I haven't seen hardly any of it.
Same. Yeah.
And for me, moving over to Europe, which I have a ton of friends who live over in Europe, in Portugal, but also in France, south of France specifically, that I just realized, I was like, why do I feel that I have to stay in the US? And then I realized, well, I don't. Like, I don't feel like I need to stay in the US. But then I was looking more into it. I was looking into expatriating as a concept probably for the last 2 years. And, back when life looked a little different. But I was exploring it as a concept, and I looked at a lot of places. I looked at Panama. I looked at Germany. I looked at Italy. I looked at France. And Portugal just felt like my spirit was just called to it. And so we did a whole bunch of research. We're going on our scouting trip in a few months, and we're going to decide where we want to live. We're going to have our interview for our visas for the family, and going to move over there.
That is so exciting. That is so exciting. Like, I feel like I'm living vicariously through you, because that's all I've been talking about is expatriating, like you said, for the past 2 years. And I've done a lot of research too. Yeah. But to know that you're what, 6 to 9 months away?
Yeah. Like, this happened for real. We sold our house. We've gotten rid of half of our possessions. Like, yeah, it's happening.
So one of my neighbors just moved to Vietnam Monday. I was coming back from my jog, and she was leaving, getting ready to go to the airport. So, see you later, Michelle. I hugged her like 12 times. I know she was like, if this girl hugged me one more time. But I get attached to people, so I'm probably going to hug you like 12 times before. Because I don't know if I'm going to see you again for the next 9 months, unless you have, like a going away something.
Yes.
But when I like people, I like them. So whatever, you just going to have to deal with my hugs, because she did too.
I'll take it.
But I'm happy. I'm happy for anybody who gets out of here. So
yeah.
So before we wrap up, I like to transition, because I just like to have fun with people. And I always ask people 5 random questions.
Okay, I love random. Let's do it.
All right. Okay, so there's no right or wrong answer. I always tell people that, because, people start thinking it's a quiz or something.
Oh, Lord.
It's not that deep.
Okay.
So my first question is, what is something that you have never been able to do well?
Ooh, whistle.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I used to be able to whistle when I was a kid. And now, I don't know, I think my lips grew too big.
And my 4-year-old, he wants me to teach him how to whistle. And I'm like, baby, mama can't. I'm sorry. So I show him videos on YouTube.
Yeah, my mom whistles so good. Yeah. And I never got that one. Okay. So my second question is, you're on a plane ride. I was going to say to Singapore, but now I'm going to say to Portugal.
Yes.
Because you will be doing that. Oh, God, you're leaving. Okay, so you're on a plane ride to Portugal. And how is it? What, about 8-hour flight? 10-hour flight. Yeah. Okay, so you got a 10-hour flight to Portugal. You get to sit by whomever you want to for that 10 hours. Who would you choose to sit by and talk to?
Oh, my God. Well, okay, this is going to probably sound cliche, but it would have to be Oprah. Just because I want to have conversations with that. I want my own Super Soul Sunday on this plane. Yes. So, yeah, I would have to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Oprah or Michelle Obama. Because that Michelle Obama is my, like, literal, like, I stan Michelle Obama.
I love her.
Yes.
It was just their 30th anniversary?
It was
2 days ago.
Yes, had that picture on the beach.
Girl, I'm like, come on.
Yes.
I just don't get me started. Okay. So number 3 is, what is your all-time? Well, you told me. Nope, I can't give you that one because that was in your bio. Parks and Rec is your all-time favorite TV show.
It is. I have watched from end to end probably about 20 times. Like I put that on. That if I'm feeling anxious, I just go put on some Parks and Rec.
Why? What is the?
It's hilarious.
I've never watched it, so I need to.
Oh my goodness!
Okay.
If you like The Office and that kind of humor,
okay,
you'd probably jive with Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So outside of that, that's TV. Movie. What's your all-time favorite movie?
Anything for Salinas. Yes.
So, let me tell you. I gotta laugh at that. So when I was in high school, I took Spanish from 3rd grade through college.
Oh wow.
Through junior year of college. So habla español, but not very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, my 3rd grade Spanish teacher was the same teacher I had in high school.
Oh, okay.
When she would get tired of us, we would watch Selena. Like we knew Miss Cooler was not fooling with kids today. Yes. Lord, rest in peace, Miss Cooler. Miss Cooler used to come to class. She'd have a cup, on her desk. And it was vodka in that cup. Like
had to be.
Oh no, we know it was vodka. Like we would smell the vodka. Like she would have her vodka. Oh Jesus, I shouldn't be telling this lady business. She done went to glory. But she would have her cup of vodka, and she would put Selena on, and we would bitty bitty bomb bomb through the whole class. And I promise I done seen that movie at least 12 times in her class alone.
Yes, I mean, so my eldest is 7, and so for the last 7 years, it's been nothing but kids movies. So I do have my kids movie favorites. However, when it comes to my favorite, it's Selena. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I love. And it's funny, too, because for the longest, I didn't connect in my head that Jennifer Lopez really wasn't
but really, though. Yep.
That's Selena.
Yes.
No, that's Jennifer Lopez. So, okay. Number 4, do you have any weird superstitions? And if so, what?
So I'm from New Orleans, so I'm a very superstitious person. So for me, anytime anybody proclaims something, I take heed to it. Like for instance, okay, so Thanksgiving 2014, I'm down in New Orleans with my dad. We go to Winn-Dixie. And a lady,
Winn-Dixie?
Yes, a lady comes up to me in the aisle, and I'm picking up a can of salt because we ran out of salt, and she goes, "You need to be careful with that salt because you can't have too much salt when you're pregnant." And at first I was like, "Man, this lady calling me fat," and I was because I was looking good at the time. Like I had lost a whole bunch of weight. I was in the best shape of my life. Tell me why. Day after Thanksgiving, I'm in my daddy's house. I have a positive pregnancy test. That lady declared.
So you didn't know you were pregnant?
I didn't know I was pregnant. No.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm a very superstitious person. So I feel like people have gifts and they can foresee things. Clairvoyance, I guess. So yeah, that's me. I don't play with that. Yeah. Also spirits. I don't play with spirits.
Me neither.
I'm not playing with no Ouija boards. That stuff is a portal.
I'm
okay.
Good. Absolutely.
It's a portal.
And you're right. People I definitely have a clairvoyant gift. I don't always tell people, but sometimes not even sometimes, most of the time, I see a lot of different things, and I'm like, so people think I'm like crazy sometimes. No. They're like, why you do it? And I'm like, so they be like, why you don't like so and so? I don't like them.
No.
And they're like, you can't tell I don't like them.
Yeah. Listen,
I'm telling you, something ain't right. Something ain't right.
Yeah, but listen, I believe there are angels. There are angels. There are demons.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so both exist. So that's me.
Well, look, we cut from kind of the same. You're the third person from Southern Louisiana to be on my podcast in a row.
Oh, well, hey, it must be something in the water.
It's something in the water, honey. Maybe I need to go visit my auntie. Yeah. Okay. 5th question, 5th and final. What would you do if you were invisible for a day?
So first thing that popped in my mind was I would probably dance around naked.
I do that and I'm visible. So
Just
whatever.
like free range.
Whatever. I be in my apartment, window blinds. Oh Lord, I shouldn't say that. Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's probably what I would do. But also I would probably go to like a lot of secret like Fortune 500 or banks or whatever, and like just sit in on meetings to see like what's really going on. Like go sit in on Congress, you know, and just see what people are really saying. So
I like that.
what I would do.
I like that. I'm a little nosy like that too, and voyeuristic. So
I
I probably
am very
would like.
nosy.
Yeah.
Like I'm all in everybody's
Yeah, I need
business.
to know. I need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I need to know what's happening.
Now I can keep a secret, but I want to know the secret.
Yeah.
So
I need to know where the angles are. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I love it. So Mia, okay, we brought you on. We talked about being a mompreneur, all the things. Tell us about Copy House, what you do, how people can get in touch, all the razzle to the. Before you get into that, you and I worked together on a campaign for me, and I'm gonna tell you, I've worked with many people. I done got burned by a lot of people too, but I worked with many people, and your process, I loved it because it was simple, it was straightforward, it wasn't a whole bunch of BS. It was just like, let me get this girl what she needs, let me walk her through, and y'all really cared for what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I want to say that first. So
Thank you.
if y'all need some copy written, go to Copy House. Go ahead and tell the people.
Well, first of all, thank you for that, because efficiency is like my husband makes fun of me so much because I'm like, this is an inefficient way to do things, and he's just like, you and your efficiencies. But truly, that's like key for me. But at the Copy House, like you mentioned at the top of the show, we're the one-stop flat rate copywriting and content writing subscription. So the way I explain it to people who aren't in the marketing or copy world is that we write words that sell. And so anything from social media content to ads to YouTube descriptions to emails, websites, all of the pieces that one would need for a business, we write them in our subscription. And so it's one flat rate, it's month to month, and essentially what you would do is you come into our subscription and you tell us what content you need. And so part of what makes the subscription so cool these days is that we're now a tech-enabled company, which I never thought I would say, your girl's a tech founder, but we're a tech-enabled company. So we've built out our own proprietary dashboard that acts as a hub for you to facilitate all of those copy requests. So you can communicate with the team within the hub. You can there's resources in the hub as well for all of the coursework that we've put together and all of the content that we've put together. Because you've seen some of my webinars and you've seen our trainings.
Yeah.
Like, they're robust. And so it's basically your content hub to learn how to market better in your business, but we're writing custom content for you and for your business. So there's a lot of tools out there for getting copy written. You could go to an AI tool, like, what are they calling themselves now? Jasper? It was Jarvis, but Jasper AI, or you can go to have a copywriter themselves. You can get on their wait list and pay a good grip of money for that, you know, or you could come to someone like us, or come to us rather, and you would get custom content where all those other people will use templates, and you'll know that we're not just hired hands, we're also content strategists. So it's the best of both worlds. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. And you're right. Copy. Y'all don't realize how much words cost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's talent though. So I love it because as a business owner myself, I don't have time, and I'm a good writer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not to toot my own horn.
You
but,
are.
You know, I've been writing since I was like 4. So
Yeah.
I love the written word. But as a business owner and as a CEO, you don't have time to be digging into the minutia of everything. And I find a lot of times that the reason, going back to what did you say? This is inefficient.
Yeah.
The reason a lot of businesses fail is because of those inefficiencies of trying to do all the things. So people, get a copywriter. She gonna write the words that you can't come up with, and it's gonna sound all, sparkly and zhuzhy and make the people feel good on the inside and make them want to, click the button to buy. So there you go. So what's your website? How can people reach you?
Yes. So you can reach us over at thecopyhouse.com, and that's HAUS for house. So check us out. You can see all about the subscription. You can learn more about me and the team that we have behind the Copy House, and sign up if you're interested. So.
I love it. Yeah. Well, Mia, thank you for coming. I'm telling you, I'm about to hug you at least 10 times. I hugged you when you came in, so yes. I got to hug you like on the way to the car.
I'm ready.
Okay. I got to give you, let you know I'm not being a weirdo. I get attached to people. I really do. Like, when I really like people, I really like them. When I don't, I'm like, whatever.
Look, it's an honor.
I really like you.
Yes.
So, y'all, we will be back next week. Same time, same place. Next week, we will have 2 guests, and I'm so excited to bring on 2 people. I'm moving up in the world. I'm getting like Oprah girl. I'm interviewing more than one person at a time. So we will have on Dr. Terilyn Scott Winful, and we will also have on Markeisha Johnson. We will be talking about how to be and why you should be fit and fabulous as a woman professional, as a woman entrepreneur, how to keep that body tight, how to make sure that you are managing your stress. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I have on my beautiful pink shirt today. And it's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And this is something that is near and dear to me, and I want to bring it to light. So we're going to talk about it tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Tomorrow, Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, Junior. Anyway, we'll talk about it next week, next Wednesday, right here on the Bright Girls in Business podcast. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.
Build a brand that grows your business. Let BrightGirl Media take the guesswork out of marketing your business. Our team is dedicated to helping you build a brand that is so powerful it woos your ideal clients. We offer custom website development, email marketing, social media marketing, and more. With membership subscriptions as low as $39 per month, we have solutions for every budget. Let's create a plan of action to make sure your business wins. Visit us at brightgirl.media to learn how we can empower you to reach your goals.